Hi everybody, this is Avram Czapnik from the Jewish Learning Exchange. I hope you and yours are all well. Must again constantly, consistently remember and pray and think about the hostages and the situation in Israel. And may the Almighty help and bring everybody home and all the soldiers and all the Jews safely from wherever they may be. This week's Torah portion is Parshat Bechukotai, which is the last portion in Chumash Vayikra, the book of Leviticus. And it begins with an opening statement about Im bechukotai telechu, if you will go in the ways of my statutes, my laws, ves mitzvahs tishmeru, and you'll keep my mitzvahs, v'asisem osam, and you will do them, then God promises great rewards not only in the world to come, but also in this world as well. But the commentaries, Rashi primarily asks, the opening verse seems to be redundant. It says, if you go in my statutes and you keep my mitzvahs, seems to be saying the same things over again in different ways. And Rashi explains that going in God's statutes and his laws means toiling and working hard to understand the Torah. Toiling in Torah and laboring in it. Today, that's a hard thing to do. We're distracted with electronics, with the phones, with everything going on. That's not easy. But it can be done and needs to be done. Many years ago, the editor-in-chief of U.S. News and World Report went to a yeshiva to observe what was going on, and he was blown away by the intensity and the focus and the brain power that was being used and the amount of hours that people were studying. He said, this is far greater than what goes on in any university. So focusing in learning and toiling in Torah takes time and effort. And a simple example could be that people are studying and they're not distracted by phones. As a matter of fact, some institutions of higher learning of Torah don't allow phones in the study hall during the session. And they're not even as distracted by people coming in and out. They're focused, laser focused on what they're studying. On a much higher level, the great Rabbi Chaim Oizer Grodzinski, the Rav of Vilna, the great rabbi of this town of Vilna in Lithuania, he had to have surgery, but he couldn't have the anesthetic. And he said, no problem. And he sat and he studied during the surgery, and the doctors were blown away by his concentration. He was so focused on the Torah text that he was learning that he didn't feel any of the pain and allowed them to do the surgery. However, there's something that we have to understand that seems to be a difficulty. When one finishes learning a tractate, a volume of the Talmud, there's a special prayer that's said, a beautiful prayer, and it says that we toil and the nations of the world toil, but we get reward for toiling, and they don't get reward for toiling. That's a very difficult thing to understand. There are some people that are actually learning something in some universities. They're getting maybe a doctorate, or they're getting a lawyer's degree, whatever it is. They are toiling, and eventually they get to become a doctor and a lawyer. So why do we say in this prayer that we toil and they toil, and we receive a reward and they don't? And the answer is interesting and simple. Imagine a person is wealthy and he goes into a tailor shop, fancy tailor shop, and he orders a beautiful suit with the most expensive material. And the tailor measures him perfectly and works on it for a few weeks, and he has it finished and it's ready to go, and he keeps it in the store. And unfortunately that night the store has a fire, and the store is closed, and the suit is ruined. Can he go over to the man and say, hey, you owe me for the suit. I worked very hard the past 2 months on it. He says, where's the suit? Well, it got burnt in the fire. It wasn't my fault. Some electrical thing went wrong. Obviously not, because no suit, no tiki, no washi, as they say, right? He didn't make the suit, even though he worked very hard. Imagine a person is getting a law degree and he says, I love this. I don't want to be a lawyer. I just want to study and study about the law. Would he get anything for that? No. Family would say, you're crazy. Go speak to somebody. You don't do that. But in Torah, it doesn't work that way. In Torah, the goal is to study God's word and to study the commentaries and to study and learn and immerse oneself in it. You don't have to become a rabbi. It's virtuous to study. A man once said that, my son is never going to be a great scholar, so I think he should, not study Torah. And the rabbi told him, well, I don't think you should work. He says, why not? He says, you're never going to be Rockefeller. You're never going to be, Elon Musk. So why are you working for? No, there's virtue in everybody working and learning. And this teaches us a very important lesson, the importance of establishing time for learning and the importance of asking questions and learning. And God counts not what we came out of with when we studied, but the hours we put in and the diligence we had and the focus we had. And that's important for every Jew, regardless of what level he's at. Ask questions, learn, probe, search for the truth, and keep on learning and growing, because it's not about the end game. It's about the process of being immersed in God's beautiful Torah. And may we merit to have the strength to do that. And actually, what we say at the end of the Torah portion is chazak, chazak, v'nis chazek. May we be strengthened and to learn more Torah and to finish more books of the Torah. Have a wonderful Shabbos. All the best.